So it doesn't matter particularly where you are, just as long as you're in a comfortable position. Just take yourself completely flat down onto the mat. Relax the feet, let the feet fall out to the side. Relax the knees, let them fall out to the side. Hips as well. Just finding a comfortable position. Take a second to just check the lower back, that you've got full contact with the mat there. Allow a little bit of an arch in the lower back, but try and find a flat back as much as you can. Allow the whole of the back to sink into the mat, shoulders relaxing, hands turning out to the side slightly, palms facing slightly up towards the ceiling. And let the head hang heavy onto the floor. And just take a little bit of focus into the breathing. Inhaling through the bottom of the stomach, feeling that rise. Then expanding into the upper chest, pausing slightly at the top. And then releasing controlled breath, all the carbon dioxide coming out. And then again, rising through the stomach, into the upper chest, pausing at the top, and deep exhale, letting all the air go out. So just keep focusing on that breath, working through that cycle, maybe with a kind of conscious count of maybe going through 4 on the inhale, 4 on the pause, 4 on the exhale. Just working through that, just nice and relaxed, filling your body up with oxygen. And just getting your body set, ready for the practice. Getting your brain in tune with that breath so you're ready to come back to it if you need to as we're going through. Okay, one more cycle on the breath. And then on your next exhale, just open the eyes and just slowly walk the feet up towards the back of your bum so that you've got feet flat on the floor. Just reset your lower back a little bit, walk the heels up as much as you need to, and just touch the back of the heels with the fingertips. And that's roughly where we want our feet. And then just set the feet so they're roughly shoulder width apart. Hands are going to stay turned out, facing up towards the ceiling. Shoulders are flat on the floor. And then we're just going to inhale, pushing some weight through the heels, through the toes, as we just raise the hips up to find a hip bridge. So weight is in the shoulders, head still in contact with the floor. And we're just squeezing through the glutes, through the core, lower back as well. And just holding here for 3, for 2, for 1. And then just exhale, slowly release back down onto the ground, rolling through the back until the whole back is down flat on the floor. Feet stay in the same position. And then when that lower back, that tailbone has made contact with the mat, we're just going to inhale again and raise the hips back up to find that hip bridge. And just squeezing at that top. Holding for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale, release yourself all the way back down. Nice and controlled movement. When the tailbone touches the floor, we're just going to inhale, raise up one more time. For 3, for 2, for 1. And exhale, release through the back, all the way down until we're flat back on the floor. Take the feet off of the floor, raise up to 90 degrees. Hands flat on the front of the knees. Take the head off of the ground, tuck the chin slightly, and we're just going to push the knees into the palms of the hands as we try and straighten the arms. We should feel that contraction through the core straight away, bit of a kind of shaking sensation going on. So squeezing really hard, maximal effort, going for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. And relax there. Release the hands back down onto the mat, lower the feet. Check again that the heels are roughly just fingertip touch in position, feet flat on the floor, walk them out to roughly shoulder width apart, and just inhale right back up to find that hip bridge. And if we're feeling good, we can extend the right foot up and out, pointing the right toes, holding for 3, for 2, for 1, bring the right foot back down, and extend that left leg out exactly the same, pointing the toes for 3, for 2, for 1. Lower the left foot down, and then try and come up onto the toes, so heels are raised off the floor, a little bit of a stretch at the top there, and then staying on the toes, slowly release the back down, so we're going down vertebrae at a time. Once the lower back is flat on the floor, we can drop the heels down and release the feet flat onto the floor. We're going to go back into that core position, so inhale to lift the knees up to 90 degrees, hands on the front of the knees, and then pushing knees into the palms of the hands. Maximal effort going for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, and relax there. Release the feet back down. We've got one more cycle with the hip bridges. So just again, check the feet position. Feet should be flat on the floor. Shoulders are going to stay hard on the mat. And inhale to push the hips up, squeeze at the top. And inhale, extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. Holding for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale to release the right leg. And inhale to extend the left leg up. For 3, for 2, for 1. Release the left leg down. Inhale up onto the toes. And exhale to release the back slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time, down onto the mat. And then drop the heels. Inhale, knees come up to 90 degrees, palms on the front of the knees, final squeeze, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax there, release the feet down onto the mat, hands come down onto the mat. Just inch the feet in together, so the insides of the soles of the feet are touching, and turn so you've actually got the soles of the feet kind of glued together, so the knees can just fall out to the side. Just coming into a little groin opener there, letting the knees come down towards the mat. Exhaling to let gravity do the work, just opening up the hips. Okay, on the next inhale, just bring the knees back up, so we've got the soles of the feet flat on the floor, and walk the feet in together, so that I've got the soles, the instep of my feet, ankles, knees are touching. And we're just going to exhale to let the left knee turn out to the side with the right knee stacking on top of it. So we're going to feel that stretch through the lower back. Try and plant that right shoulder flat onto the mat as you feel that stretch go through the bottom side of the lower back. Hold in there just for a few deep breaths. Exhaling to let the left knee get a little bit further down towards the mat. And inhale, feet come back up to center. Knees, sorry, and exhale, allow the right knee to tip over to the side, stacking the left knee on top, and left shoulder pinned down onto the mat, just feeling that release. Okay, inhale, knees come back up to the middle, and then just tuck the knees up towards the chest, wrap the hands around the front of the knees, squeeze them in, giving yourself a bit of a hug. Have a little bit of a tip from side to side. Finding any tight bits in the lower back, a little bit of a kind of lower back massage, applying a little bit of pressure in the spine erector muscles. And then come back to center and just gently start a little rocking motion, backwards and forwards, building up a little bit of momentum. And then just tip yourself all the way forwards. So from here, we're just going to take the feet out a little bit wider, and we're just going to lift ourselves up, walk the feet, and just stand all the way back up. So we're back into our standing posture. Okay, so we're going to work through a series of just forward folds, just working into posterior chain. So it doesn't matter too much where you are on the mat, so it's just going to be whatever's comfortable for you on the forward folds. So just take your inhale, hands all the way up towards the ceiling, extend the fingertips at the top, and exhale, tuck the chin, take the hands all the way down, 1 vertebrae at a time, roll the shoulders forward, coming all the way down, just so fingertips touch the mat. Relax the head, looking back between the legs. And inhale, take the hands all the way up the front of the body, going nice and slow, all the way back up to standing. Pull the head back on top of the spine, pull the shoulder blades back. And inhale, hands come up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release the hands all the way down onto the mat this time. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Try and make a little bit more contact with the mat. Let the head hang really nice and heavy here, looking back again, using the weight of the head to extend that stretch. And inhale, roll all the way back up to standing. Pull the head back, shoulder blades come back again. And inhale, hands come up towards the ceiling. Take a little bit of a further stretch, coming up onto tiptoes. Hands come up a little bit higher. And exhale, down onto the heels. Release the hands, tuck the chin. Rolling nice and slow all the way back down onto the mat. So we're going to stay down in our forward fold for a little bit longer this time. We're going to add a little bit more intensity to it. So if we're feeling good, we can just take a grip, forefinger and index finger around the big toe. Wrap the thumb underneath those, so we're gripping around that big toe. Take the gaze back between the legs as we try and push the knees as straight as possible, whilst also squeezing with the biceps, pulling through the upper back. Hold in here for 3, for 2, for 1, and relax there. Release the big toe, and just inhale to lift up to half lift. Pull the shoulder blades back as if we're going to hit a strong deadlift. And exhale to release yourself back down into that forward fold. Again, take that grip, forefinger and index finger around the big toe, wrap with the thumb, and extend the knees back, pushing with the legs, squeezing with the biceps. Again for 3, for 2, for 1. Release there. Inhale, lift up to half lift, pull the shoulder blades back, find that flat back, and exhale to release back down onto the mat. Final one of these squeezes, hook the index and forefinger around the big toe. Take that grip and stretching there, squeezing biceps, holding for 3, for 2, for 1. Release there. Inhale up to half lift. Exhale down to forward fold. And inhale, rolling all the way up the body, back up to standing. Pull the shoulder blades back there. So we're going to start working through our sun salutations to get a little bit more heat in the body, a little bit more warmth. We'll take the first one nice and slow, work through some of the positions, make sure that we're nice and ready for that, and then we'll start moving quite quickly. Okay, so working with the breath. Inhale, hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release the hands all the way down for forward fold. And inhale, just step back to our high plank. And exhale here, drop the knees, chin, chest, tuck the elbows in for our baby kind of simple chaturanga. Untuck the toes, and then just with the hands, check that they're directly underneath the front of the shoulders. And we're going to go through a series of baby cobra just to get the lower back nice and warm. So we're going to aim to not use our hands here. We're squeezing through the spinal erectors into the glutes. Inhaling to just lift the chest off of the floor for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale to release yourself back down. Inhale to lift again. Squeezing at the top. 3, 2, 1. And exhale to release. Inhale to raise for 3, for 2, for 1. And exhale, release there. On the next inhale, we're going to come up to baby cobra, and we're going to try and take our hands off of the mat. Really force that stretch. Pull the shoulder blades back for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale to release. One more of those. Inhale, lift the chin, lift the chest, take the hands away for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale, release there. Palms in contact with the mat. Inhale, push through the hands, lift the chin, lift the chest as we take our up dog. Push the shoulder blades away from the ears, nice proud chest. And tuck the toes, lift the hips, push back as we take our first downward dog. So with our first downward dog, we're just going to set our feet into our kind of comfortable position for this. And we're just going to start walking the heels slowly into the mat, finding a little bit of space through the Achilles into the calf. And just check that your hands are in a position that you feel comfortable as well. Spread the fingertips nice and wide, nice firm base. Keep walking those heels a little bit, and then take a second to just try and turn the biceps towards the front of the room as well, really locking into the shoulders here, pushing back so the hips are going up towards the ceiling. And keep coming back to that breath. So deep inhale, raising the hips, exhale, pushing back a little bit further. And if you're feeling good, take the hips over from one side, over to the other, loosening off as you do so, whatever feels comfortable here. Okay, come back to center, take your gaze towards the front of the mat, and just walk your feet really slow, controlled steps all the way up towards the front of the mat until we're back into our forward fold. And inhale, lift yourself all the way back up to standing. So we're going to start working through our sun salutations with a little bit more speed. We can add the jump backs or the jumps if we feel comfortable, or just keep going with the steps, whatever feels good. With the chaturangas, if you want to drop the knees first, that's our scaled option. Otherwise, keep those elbows nice and tight and work through it from there. Okay, so staying with the breath as much as possible. Inhale, hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release the hands all the way down to the mat for forward fold. And inhale, step or jump back to find our high plank. Exhale, lower for chaturanga. Inhale, press up to find up dog. Tuck the toes with the hips, push back. Exhale to find downward dog. Holding here for 3 deep breaths. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Take the gaze towards the front of the room, bend the knees as we step or jump forward to find our forward fold. And inhale, raise all the way back up to standing. Pull the shoulder blades back, take a neutral gaze towards the front of the room. Inhale, hands all the way up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release the hands down onto the mat. Inhale to step or jump back to high plank. Exhale, lower for chaturanga. Inhale, press up to find up dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, push back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths again. If you want to walk the heels into the mat while you're staying here, that's what I'm going to be doing, because I definitely need to work on my ankle motion. Okay, one more deep breath, inhaling through the nose. Deep exhale. Take the gaze to the front of the room, bend the knees, step or jump forward into forward fold, and inhale all the way back up to standing. Pull the shoulder blades back, reset the head. And inhale, hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands come down onto the mat. Inhale to step or jump back into high plank. Exhale, lower for chaturanga. Inhale, press up to find up dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, push back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths once again in this pose. So with downward facing dog, this is supposed to be a kind of restorative position, a position we can relax in. But obviously a lot of pressure going through the shoulders, a lot of work going on here as well. And if it gets too much, we can always just drop the knees and take our child's pose if we need to. Okay, on the next exhale, take your gaze towards the front of the room, bend the knees, step or jump forward, back into our forward fold, and inhale all the way back up to standing. So that's 3 sun salutations. We've got another 2 to work through, but we're going to add a little bit more intensity to those. So listen to the change of instructions. Inhale, hands come all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands come down into forward fold. Inhale, raise up to half lift and hold here for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale, release the hands down onto the mat. Inhale, step or jump back to high plank. Exhale, lower for chaturanga. Inhale, press up to find up dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, push back, downward facing dog. Okay, major change here. Inhale, lift that left foot as high as we feel comfortable. And exhale, step it all the way towards the front of the mat. And inhale quickly up into a single leg forward lunge. Holding here for 3, for 2, for 1. Release the hands back down onto the mat. Step the left leg back. And exhale for chaturanga. Inhale, press up to find up dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up as high as you feel comfortable. And exhale it straight to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift yourself up, back into that lunge position, nice and strong. For 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale, release the hands down to the front of the mat. Step the right leg back. Exhale, lower for chaturanga. Inhale, press up to find up dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Push back, downward facing dog. Holding here for 3 deep breaths once again. Okay, take the gaze towards the front of the room, bend the knees, and step or jump forward, back into forward fold, and inhale, rolling all the way back up the body. Pull the shoulder blades back. 1 more round of that. Inhale, hands all the way up to the top. Exhale, release the hands down into forward fold. Inhale, lift up to find half lift, half fold. Pull the shoulder blades back, nice flat back. For 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale, hands come back down onto the mat. Inhale to step or jump back into high plank. Exhale, lower down for chaturanga. Inhale, press up to find up dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, push back, downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to add a final little bit onto this. Inhale, lift that left leg nice and high. Exhale, left leg all the way to the front of the mat. Inhale, raising with the hands up towards the ceiling this time. For 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale, release the hands back down onto the mat. Step the left leg back and lower down for chaturanga. Inhale, press up to find up dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the ceiling this time. Exhale, right leg to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift the hands up towards the ceiling on the right hand side. Hold in for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale, hands come back down onto the mat. Step the right leg back. Exhaling, lower for chaturanga. Inhale, press up to find up dog. Tuck the toes with the hips, push back,
downward facing dog. We're going to fight this one for 5 deep breaths. Really get those shoulders nice and warm. Walk the heels if you need to. One more deep inhale. And exhale, release the knees down onto the mat. Send the hips back towards the heels. Walk the fingertips out away from us as we take forehead, chin, chest down towards the mat and take our child's pose. So we should feel a nice release there, going through the shoulders, getting some of that lactic out, having held it through those downward dogs. And just to get a little bit more of a stretch, we can just inch the left hand out to the edge of our mat and just walk the right hand over to meet it. So the right hand might come on the back of the left hand, it might just come down to the side of it, whatever feels comfortable. And then we want to exhale to lower the forehead back down onto the mat and really feel that stretch all the way through the right lat. So again, sitting the hips back towards the heels, just enjoying that stretch for a moment. Plenty more work to come. And then in your own time, just walk the right hand over to the right hand side of the mat. Take the left hand over to meet it and exhale back down into our child's pose on the left hand, on the right hand side, stretching through the left lat. Okay, in your own time, just walk the hands back into that original position. Spread the fingertips nice and wide. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, push yourself back and up, and find yourself back into a downward facing dog. Take your gaze towards the front of the room and just walk your feet all the way back into our forward fold. And inhale yourself all the way back up to standing. Okay, so we're going to work through a couple of kind of warrior poses here. Get the legs really nice and warm, and then we're going to be moving into a little bit of leg strength and stuff as well. So inhale, the hands come up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release the hands down onto the mat. Inhale to step or jump back to find high plank. And exhale, lower for chaturanga. Inhale, press up to find up dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, push back, downward facing dog. Okay, inhale, really push that left leg nice and high this time. Hold it for 3, for 2, for 1. Now try and tuck that knee into the top of the left chest, keeping it as tight to the body as possible until we start tipping ourselves forward into a high plank. Lift the knee, lift the left foot all the way through, and then drop it down into our front lunge. Inhale, just lift yourself up, take the hands onto the hips, and we're just going to sit here for 3 deep breaths. So we can reset our feet at any point during these if we need to move them. We want to be as stable as possible the whole way through. Okay, inhale, just lift up slightly. Exhale, drop the right leg down. So we're going to turn the right foot to 90 degrees. And we might need to reset that left leg. So we've got the left heel directly in line with the inside of the right. We're going to square the hips. So hips are sideways onto the mat. And we're going to exhale to sit down into this stretch. Keep the hands down at the moment. Just let that left knee sit down, getting a little bit deeper. And then when we're in our bottom position, we're just going to inhale the hands out to the side. Spread the fingertips nice and wide, sending them to the front and the back of the room. And again, holding here now for 3, for 2, for 1. Inhale, straighten the left leg, extend the left hand up towards the ceiling as we take the right hand down to the right knee. Inhale, lift that left hand a little bit higher. Exhale, take the right hand a little bit further down. Inhale to raise. Exhale to lower. Final one. Inhale it up. Exhale to lower. Okay, inhale, both hands come up to the front. Turn the hips square on. And exhale, release the hands down, back onto the mat. Step the left leg back. And exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, press up to find up dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up to the ceiling this time. Really try and extend it, heel high as possible. Holding for 3, for 2, for 1. Tuck that right knee in, tight to the body, working really slow, controlled movements here. Knees coming up towards the chest, tipping ourselves forward onto the left toes, and then drop that right foot to the front of the mat. And inhale all the way back up to that lunge position. Hands just come to the hips, reset the feet if you need to. Squeeze the quads, squeeze the glutes, really stable. Holding for 3, for 2, for 1. So same as we did on the other side. Exhale to drop the left foot to 90 degrees, so square to the back of the mat. Step that right foot into whichever position we need, so the right heel is in line with the instep of the left, and turn the hips so that they are sideways onto the mat. Exhale, drop down into that lunge. And when we're in that position, we're just going to inhale the hands out to the side and spread the fingertips wide, pushing them to the front and the back of the room. Holding for 3, for 2, for 1. Inhale, straighten the right leg, extend the right hand up to the ceiling. Exhale, left hand comes down to left knee. Inhale, raising the right hand. Exhale, lower the left. Inhale to raise. Exhale to lower. Inhale to raise. Exhale to lower. And then inhale, both hands come up towards the ceiling. Turn the hips towards the front of the room. Turn the left foot over. Exhale, release both hands back down to the mat. Step the right leg back into high plank. And exhale, lower for chaturanga. Inhale, press up to find up dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, push back. Downward facing dog. So we're going to work back into some of that positions, but we're going to add a little bit of intensity to it as well. So inhale that left leg up to the ceiling, and just exhale it straight away to the front of the mat. Lifting both hands up this time. Inhale up into that front lunge. Holding for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale, drop the right leg, turn out to the side, so hips are square along the side of the mat, hands extended. Holding again for 3, for 2, for 1. Inhale, straighten the left leg, extend the left hand up towards the ceiling. Right hand comes down to the right knee. Inhale to stretch it up. Exhale to stretch back down. Inhale to raise. Exhale to lower. Inhale to raise. Okay, on your next exhale, you're going to bend the left knee and take the left hand down towards the left foot with the right hand coming up towards the ceiling. Okay, so we should have fingertips just about touching the floor on the inside of the left foot, right hand extended upwards. Inhale, straighten the left leg, allow the left hand to track up the inside of the left thigh, extend that right hand up towards the ceiling. And exhale, lower the left hand back down onto the mat, keeping that right hand raised. Inhale to straighten. Exhale into lower. Inhale to raise. Exhale to lower. Inhale to raise it up. And exhale to lower it down. Final one. Inhaling all the way up. Turn the hips back to the front of the room. Exhale, release the hands back down onto the mat. Step the left leg back, high plank. Exhale, lower for chaturanga. Inhale, press up to find up dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, push back. Downward facing dog. Even up on the other side now. Inhale, lift the right leg nice and high. And straight away, exhale it all the way to the front of the room. Inhale, lift up. Hands come up this time as well. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the quads. Find that strong pose for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale, drop the left foot to 90 degrees. Square the hips, extend the hands out to the side. Drop into the lunge for 3, for 2, for 1. Inhale, straighten the right leg, extend the right hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale, left hand comes down to the inside of the left knee. Inhale to raise the right hand. Exhale to lower the left. Inhale to raise the right. Exhale to lower the left. Final one. Inhale to raise that right hand a little bit further. Exhale to lower it down. And inhale, take both hands, release both hands, drop down, right knee comes forward into a lunge, right hand comes down onto the inside of the right leg, left hand points up towards the ceiling. And just set those fingertips so they're pointing onto the mat. Inhale, straighten the right leg, extend the left hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale to lunge back down. Inhale to raise. Exhale into lower. Inhale to raise it up. Exhale to lower back down. Inhale to raise it up. Exhale to lower. Final one. Inhale to raise it all the way up. Lift the right hand, turn the left hip in. Exhale, release both hands down onto the mat. Step the right leg back, high plank. Inhale at the top. Exhale, lower for chaturanga. Inhale, press up to find up dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, push back, downward facing dog. Drop the knees, allow the hands out in front of you, send the hips back as we take a child's pose. So heart rate should be up now. We should be breathing pretty heavy, maybe got a decent sweat going. That's working through a lot of the dynamic stuff. We're now going to work purely into our strengthening part as well. It's all going to be lower leg or leg stuff, lots of quads, bit of glutes, might get into the hamstrings as well. Okay, so with the hands out wide in front of you, spread the fingertips as much as you need to. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, push yourself up to find that downward facing dog. And just walk the feet this time all the way back to the front of the mat into forward fold. And inhale yourself back up to standing. Okay, inhale the hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release the hands down onto the mat into forward fold. Inhale to step or jump back into high plank. Exhale, lower for chaturanga. Inhale, press up to find up dog. Tuck the toes with the hips. Push yourself back into downward facing dog. Okay, inhale that left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, left leg to the front of the mat. And just lift yourself up into that front lunge. We're just going to drop the right foot again. And we're going to turn the left leg as well. So we have both feet pointing towards the edge of the mat. And we're going to reset our feet quite a few times as we go through our different positions. So don't worry about where they are right now. So we're going to work into our horse pose. So it's going to be some wide-legged lunges. So it's going to get the quads working really hard. So for this, we're probably going to walk the feet in a little bit wider than that. They're going to be wider than our normal squat position, but not ridiculously so. And like I said, we can reset as we need to. The key with the squat is we want to keep the weight as much as possible in the heels, chest nice and high, strong posture throughout. So begin by inhaling, hands come up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands come down towards heart center. Take prayer pose if you want to, and sit yourself down into that squat. So for our first squat, we might find that we're too wide or too narrow, so we can just reset as much as we need to, have a little bit of a play, find what is going to be comfortable for us, because we're going to be coming into this position quite a lot, so we want to make sure that it's one that we can hit confidently. Okay, so when you're happy with that position, we're just going to inhale, driving ourselves back up, take the hands up, back up, nice and high, and exhale, hands come back down to heart center, sitting back down into that squat. And we're just going to find the bottom of the squat and hold here for 3, for 2, for 1. Inhale, drive through the ground, extend the hands all the way up. And exhale, come back down again. Holding for 3, for 2, for 1. Inhale to raise all the way back up again. Exhale to lower yourself back down. Pause in there for 3, for 2, for 1, inhale, hands all the way back up, final 1, exhale to come all the way back down. Hold in for 3, for 2, for 1. Okay, inhale, just extend the legs, lock them out, release the hands, give the shoulders a little bit of a shake out, and we're going to work into a forward fold here, wide-legged forward fold. So we're going to want to walk our feet out a little bit wider than they were before, and we can adjust the feet as we go along. So just begin by placing both hands onto the lower back. So we've got fingertips pointing down towards the floor. Inhale to open up the chest, pull the shoulder blades back, lift the chin up towards the ceiling. Inhaling to raise the chest, exhale to lift the chin. 1 more inhale to raise. 1 more exhale to stretch. And then begin to just tip forward. Keep those palms in the lower back. So we're keeping nice and flat in that position. And just start tipping forward, keeping the legs as straight as possible, until we find ourselves at roughly 90 degrees. So we might want to walk the feet out a little bit wider to allow ourselves to get us down into that position. And then once we hit that 90 degrees, we can just take the hands out in front of us and allow them to come down onto the floor as much as we need to. So for me, I'm still just on fingertips, but that means I'm keeping my back nice and flat. And I want to be sitting back into the heels here, and that will really feel that stretch all the way up the back of the hamstrings, into the calves as well, without compromising the lower back. Okay, on the next exhale, we're going to tuck the chin and start to lower the head. So there's going to be a rounding of the back, but it's going to be a nice, slow, controlled movement. We might get more hand contact with the floor as we do that. We might want to walk the feet out a little bit wider as well, if that's going to make this more comfortable. And take that gaze back between the legs as we engage through the hamstrings and really feel that stretch. And just relax the head as much as you can. For 3, for 2, for 1. Slowly release the hands off of the floor, place them back onto the lower back with fingertips pointing down towards the ground. Squeezing through the core, squeezing through the glutes. Inhale all the way back up to the top. Release the hands, walk the feet back in. So we're going to go back into our horse pose. So we're going to add an element of intensity to this if we want to. So if we're happy with keeping the heels on the floor, then we're going to stick with that. We want to make this even more enjoyable. We can come up onto the toes. If we come up onto the toes to begin with, we have to stay up on the toes the whole way through though. We're going to be doing 5 reps. So it's the same squat movement, but we're going to try and keep up on the toes. Okay, so inhale, up onto the toes, extend the hands up towards the ceiling, and exhale, hands come down to heart center, staying on the toes, sitting as deep as we can, find that bottom position for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. I've also made it longer for some reason. Inhale all the way back up, staying on the toes, and exhale to come back down. We'll do it for 3 this time. For 2, for 1, inhale all the way back up, extending at the top, and exhale to lower back down. For 3, for 2, for 1, 2 more of these to go. Inhale all the way up, stretching at the top, exhale to lower ourselves back down. For 3, for 2, for 1, inhale, final 1, squeeze at the top, exhale, coming all the way down, holding again for 3, for 2, for 1. Extend back up, but drop the heels back down, release the hands, give the legs a little bit of a shake out, and we're just going to go back into that wide angled forward fold very briefly. So just walk those feet a little bit wider. If you want to, we can add a bit of intensity to this. We can take the hands out to the side like a star shape and exhale, tipping ourselves forward, sending the hips back so that we find that 90 degrees. Try and pull those shoulder blades back together so we've got a nice flat back. Holding again for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale to release the hands down towards the mat. Walk your feet out a little bit wider if you need to. Try and get the palms flat on the floor if you can. Release the head so we're gazing back between the legs. And just let the weight of the head stretch through the back into the hamstrings. Weight staying in the heels though. Try not to come over onto the toes. Few more deep breaths, working through the stretch. And then slowly raise the hands, take them back onto the lower back, fingertips pointing down towards the floor. Squeeze the core, squeeze the glutes, lifting ourselves all the way back up to the top. Pull the shoulder blades back, release the hands, and then just inch those feet all the way back in together so that we're back standing normally. And then in your own time, just walk over so we find the front of the mat. We've got one more little leg exercise to do, and then we're going to finish with a little bit of core work. So we're going to be working into a chair pose here. So the key with the chair pose is inhaling to lift the chest and then exhaling to twist. If we don't inhale and lift the chest, then our rib cage is in the way and we're just twisting in a really kind of awkward fashion. So really lift before we try any kind of twist. And we also want to try and keep the knees, ankles together. We'll talk about that in just a second. So walk the feet as close together as you can. So I've got the insides of my feet squeezed together. Squeeze the ankles, squeeze the knees, and then try and zip up all the way between the thighs as well. Just take the hands to heart center for the first time. And we're just going to exhale to sit down. So I want to squeeze those knees together. And I keep going down as far as I can so that I can still just about see the ends of my toes. If I can't see my feet, that means I've gone too far forward. And just sit yourself down until you find that position. So we should be really, really squeezing the glutes, squeezing through the quads because I'm trying to keep those knees together. And my hands are just sitting in front of me in prayer pose. Holding here just for 3, for 2, for 1. Okay, inhale, we're going to lift the chest, extend the right hand, right elbow up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to exhale to drop the left elbow down towards the left knee. So this is going to feel quite awkward, particularly because I'm trying to squeeze my knees together and square my hips at the same time. But we're just going to try and find that pose. Hold in again for 3, for 2, for 1. Inhale, just come back up. Try and keep in that low position. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, drop the right elbow down towards the left knee. Extend the left elbow up towards the ceiling. Holding again for 3, for 2, for 1. And just inhale back to center. Lift yourself all the way back up. Shake out the legs. So that's our standard position. We're going to try and work through 2 slightly more advanced postures as we go through that. Obviously, if that's the one we're comfortable with, that's the one we stay with. So we're going to go back to squeezing the feet together, squeezing the ankles, squeezing the knees. Take the hands back into our prayer pose and exhale, sit ourselves back down into chair position. Inhale to raise the right elbow, exhale, drop the left elbow down to that right knee. So if we're happy staying here, this is where we're going to stay. If we want to try something a little bit more fun, we're going to inhale to lift the left leg off the floor and then exhale just to drop the toes back behind us. Inhale, step it back and exhale to step it to the back of the mat. Inhale, left foot comes through. Exhale to step it back. Inhale to come forward. Exhale to step it back. Inhale it forward. One more. Exhale it back. And inhale it back again. Squeeze the feet together, squeeze the knees. Inhale, lift yourself up. And exhale, drop the right elbow down to the left knee. Extend the left elbow towards the ceiling. Same on the other side. Inhale to step the right foot back. Exhale to bring it forward. Inhale to step it back. Exhale comes forward. Inhale to send it back. Exhale it forward. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Squeeze the feet, squeeze the knees. Inhale all the way back up to standing. Release the hands, release the legs. Give them a good shake out. We've got one final one to have a go at. See how it feels. So we can either take the first one, the second one, or we can go all out and try our Hail Mary on the third. So squeeze the feet, squeeze the ankles, squeeze the knees. Get ready for this, it's going to be fun. Okay, hands to heart center. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, sit ourselves down into chair pose. Inhale, raise the right elbow up towards the ceiling. Exhale, left elbow comes down. And this time we're going to inhale and we're going to send the left leg back, but it's not touching the floor. It's going to float in the air. And exhale to come forward. Try not to touch the floor if you can. Inhale to extend it back. Exhale to come forward. Inhale to send back. Exhale to bring it forward. Inhale to send it back. Exhale to come forward. Final one. Inhale to send it back. Exhale to bring it forward. Step the left foot down. Inhale, raise the chest. Exhale, sit back down into our chair pose. Drop that right elbow onto the left knee. Extend the left elbow up towards the ceiling. And inhale, raise the right leg. Extend that one back. Exhale to come forward. Knees touch together. Inhale to send it back. Exhale to come forward. Inhale to send it back. Exhale to come forward. Working with the breath. Final one. Inhale it back. Exhale forward. Drop the right foot back down. And inhale all the way up to standing. Release the hands, release the feet. Give the body a whole shake out because everything's going to feel really tight. Okay, final little bit of work. We're going to get onto the floor and we're going to finish with a little bit of core work. So to get down into the core, really simple. Walk the feet out about shoulder width apart, also mat width apart. Inhale the hands up nice and high. Exhale, come back down into that Buddha squat. Sink all the way down as low as you can and then drop the hands down onto the floor. Drop the bum, sit yourself back down. Okay, exhale, release all the way down onto the mat. So we're just going to find a few boat poses, nice simple core positioning, kind of our hollow hold. We're keeping it CrossFit. Okay, so we're just going to start by lifting the feet off of the floor, send the head back down onto the mat, and then inhale, take the hands out in front of us as we find that balance point there. So we're lifting up, squeezing into the core, squeezing through the hip flexors into the quads, pointing fingertips towards our toes in a kind of zombie position, and just finding that balance point. Holding for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale, release the feet back down, release the shoulders as well. Let the hands relax onto the mat, and deep exhale here to relax. Okay, bring the feet together, point the toes. Inhale, raise the feet off of the floor. Lift the chest up as well. Point the hands towards the toes. Hold in again for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale, release the heels back down. Come back down flat onto the mat. Really relax in that position there. Relax the core muscles. Bring the feet back together. Inhale to lift them off of the floor. Take fingertips towards the toes, zombie position. Hold in again for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale, release the heels back down. Come back down, flat on the mat again. So we've got a few more rounds of that, and we can add a little bit of intensity to it if we want to. Otherwise, we're just going to come back into that bow position. So again, bring the feet together. Inhale them off of the floor. Extend the hands up towards them. Point the fingertips towards them. But then try and extend that right hand up and away from us. So left hand is pointing towards my feet. Right hand is extending away. Holding for 3, for 2, for 1. Right hand back forward. Exhale, release the heels down, release the shoulders. Relax the core. Feet come back together. Inhale the feet up. Lift up the upper body, fingertips pointing. Inhale, extend that left hand away from us. Right hand pointing forwards. Holding for 3, for 2, for 1. Left hand forward. Exhale, release the heels. Release the shoulder blades.
My Ocado's here. Give me 1 second. Carry on. I'll be back in a second.
Okay. So from here, we've just got one more extension on the boat position. So we're just going to inhale to raise the feet off of the floor, raise both hands up towards pointing, and then just extend the hands out to the side in our kind of crucifix shape. Hold in again for 3, for 2, for 1. Hands come back together, extend the heels down to the floor, and relax back down onto the mat. So we're already flat down on the mat, so we're ready for a Savasana. So just allow the feet to hang out to the side. Feet go nice and soft. Knees turn out slightly, all the way up into the hips. Try and relax that core because it's going to feel really active, really tight, having just gone through all of those boat poses. And just relax the upper back into the mat. Shoulders go nice and soft. Hands fall out to the side. Palms of the hands facing up towards the ceiling. And just come back to that breath that we started with. So slowly inhaling, feeling that rise through the lower belly, up into the chest. Pausing at the top, and deep exhale, release all that carbon dioxide. Inhaling through the stomach, up into the chest, pause at the top, and exhale to release. So just keep working your own way through that breathing, focusing on nothing else but that. The rising of the stomach, the rising of the chest, and then the release of that air. Nice controlled breathing. Okay, so slowly start to bring your attention back to your body. A little bit of movement of the toes, a little bit of movement of the ankles, little squeeze of the knees into the quads, and then a little bit of movement through the fingertips, squeezing the biceps, a little bit of a roll of the shoulders at the top, and just a gentle turn of the head from side to side in the neck. And then in your own time, just inhale the knees up towards the chest, tucking them in nice and tight, wrapping the hands back around them, squeeze them into the chest, lifting the lower back slightly off of the mat, and then back into that gentle massage, either side to side, front to back, whatever feels good for you. Finding any little kind of trick points we can work into. And try and keep your eyes closed whilst doing that, staying in this nice relaxed state. And then come to center and slowly start to build up that gentle rock. So we go forwards and back a little bit more each time until we can tip ourselves all the way back up to seated. Slowly open up the eyes, and then we're just going to take the feet back underneath us into a cross-legged position if that is comfortable. Otherwise, just wherever you feel good, and we'll just finish with 3 really deep breaths. So inhaling to raise the chest, extend the hands up towards the ceiling, and exhale, release the hands back down.
Inhaling really deep, extend at the top. And exhale to release. Final one, biggest breath of the day. Inhale through the nose. And exhale to release.